On today's episode of Time About the Movies, 3 ordinary high school kids suddenly get superpowers, but one of them may be using them for very evil purposes. We take a look at Chronicle, the latest found footage film, and one of the few really good ones. We also have Daniel Radcliffe in his first major feature film off of Harry Potter, The Woman in Black, and we have John Krasinski and Drew Barrymore in the family adventure Big Miracle. 3 films to take a look at on this Super Bowl weekend, February 3rd, 2012. This is Time About the Movies.
You're probably going to want to get this on camera. I don't want to do it. Dude, I don't want to do it.
Okay, are you ready?
Okay,
Come on,
yes.
do it.
Give me a countdown.
I will, I promise.
Are we rolling? I'm going to get the gum. Pull it right out of his mouth.
Wait, why are you running? I got this one. Sweet. He's just looking at it.
This is my theory, though, is that it's like a muscle.
Watch this. Dude, holy crap!
That's why I think we're getting stronger, you know?
She thinks you stole it.
Yes, it was the black guy this time.
Because we're working it out.
There's nothing stopping us.
Where are you going?
I'm sorry.
That's just some red nigga.
How is this guy's problem? Are you crazy? Why did you do that? What the hell is wrong with...
Was it an accident, Andrew? Andrew? I'm worried about Andrew. Listen to me. We can't screw around with this. It's too dangerous. Andrew, it's not a game.
Stop this right now!
What's making that sound?
What is that? All right, dude, we're going inside.
Steve, wait up. Matt, look at this.
Holy...
Yeah, Alex is basically looking at the camera just like, that's right, bitch, that was me. He's basically like Cartman, like, what up? What up with what up? I got nothing else to lose. Like, anyway, welcome to Time About the Movies, everybody. I'm sorry for that opening, but welcome to the show. Today we are taking a look at the 3 films that make up February 3rd, 2012. So, what did people go to the box office to see before we saw the big game between the Giants and Patriots on Sunday? Well, we had the first of the big new releases, and that is Chronicle. Presented as found footage from various cameras, you have Dane DeHaan, Michael B. Jordan, and Alex Russell as a group of Seattle friends. I guess Andrew was the one who was doing that. Sorry, but yeah, I got the names mixed up there. But they play these group of Seattle friends who gain powerful superhuman abilities and use them for mischief and personal gain until one of them, Andrew, begins to use his power for darker purposes. And found footage at this point had been used for mostly horror movies, and not a lot of very good ones, like The Devil Inside we just had recently, Apollo 18. Of course, they were more successful with Cloverfield and Paranormal Activity, and even The Blair Witch back in the day. But here's the one that's taking it to and using it for something very different outside of the horror movie genre. We'll have another one that takes it outside of the horror film genre with Project X coming up within the next month. And does it work outside of the horror genre? I would like to say yes, it does, because not only does it work here, it works really well. I really enjoyed the hell out of this movie when it came out. And it's a fun idea, taking a superhero movie with found footage and not using the word superhero once at all. Plus, I like the way that the footage is presented through various cameras. I think that's a nice little touch there. You know, one of the big complaints about the movie that you kept hearing about was the idea that the leading girl character has a camera as well. It's pretty unbelievable. And it's just kind of like, she kind of serves the purpose of providing other camera shots when Andrew isn't on screen. I mean, you see all the different cameras going across these characters throughout the course of the movie. And I like the fact that you like all the actors in here. They do a really good job in their roles. You like all of them. You even like the antagonist of the movie, Andrew. You know, you can understand why he's using his powers for evil. His life sucks. Nobody really likes him. His dad's a fucking dick. His mother's on the brink of death. You're really hoping things are going to turn out for this kid, but at the same time, he's got more than enough good reasons to use his powers for evil. For a movie like this that has a $12 million budget, the visuals look incredible, too. I mean, this isn't like G.I. Joe The Rise of Cobra or X-Men First Class levels of really lackluster visual effects. These look legitimately good. Like, these are like District 9 type of numbers here. And you have a first-time director in Josh Trank, and also a writer who has not written before in feature film form with Max Landis, the son of John Landis. This is their first time working on something like this, and they do a really good job making this look authentic, and it looks really good. I mean, if there's really one complaint I would have about the film, I would say that the climax does go a little bit too long for its own good. They really make it seem like Andrew is invincible against everything. He can levitate cars, he can hurl buses at people, he can use his hands to shoot somebody, and yet the only thing that can stop him is a spear from a statue going through him. I don't know, I just thought there was a much better way you could have ended that in general, but again, that's just a really, really small flaw of a really, really damn good movie. It's a really good film. It works in the way you expect a found footage film to do. It's one of the best found footage movies I've ever seen. This is right up there with Cloverfield, man. This is a strong, strong movie that continues from a very strong year of really solid films that we've gotten in 2012. So far, 2012 has been the complete opposite of 2011, where we had those rough months of lackluster movies one after another. But we're starting to get a lot of good stuff early on in the year. We've had some good ones to talk about already with Haywire and now this. And also we have some other ones coming up today as well, as we have our next movie here. That is Daniel Radcliffe in The Woman in Black.
During afternoon tea, there's a shift in the air. A bone-trembling chill that tells you she's there. There are those who believe the whole town is cursed, but the house in the marsh is by far the worst. What she wants is unknown, but she always comes back. The spectre of darkness. The woman in black.
Daniel Radcliffe. The Woman in Black, rated PG-13, in theaters Friday.
Well, it's a Hammer horror movie. Of course it's going to be good. And Hammer hasn't done anything of noteworthiness in a while, too. I mean, it's been a long time since we've covered a movie from them. But, you have this movie which stars Daniel Radcliffe, Kieran Hines, Janet McTeer, and Liz White and Sophia Stuckey. And it takes place in 20th century England, following a young, recently widowed lawyer who travels to the remote village where he discovers that the vengeful ghost of a scorned woman is terrorizing the locals. So, essentially, Harry Potter's girlfriend didn't make it too much longer after this movie. This quite literally was coming out less than 7 months after the Deathly Hallows Part 2 came out. But, okay, cheap little tie in there. But this is actually a really good movie. This is a film that is very much quite the opposite of what you expect from a modern-day horror movie. You have a great script written by Jane Goldman, who also wrote Kick-Ass. You have James Watkins, the director of this, who also did Speak No Evil. Recently just did, I think he did Speak No Evil, and he's working on Clayface. I mean, the new Clayface movie. So he's a really good director. And it's really cool to see Daniel Radcliffe get out of that Harry Potter motif that he'd been stuck in for the last 11 years. Like, this is a chance for him to really show what his acting abilities are outside of playing that character we've come to know him for. And he makes it work in here. The acting overall is really good. The scares are legitimately good. The atmosphere is great. It's the literal definition of a really damn good homage to a Hammer classic. I mean, this is a great modern-day Hammer movie that doesn't feel like it's ripping off a previous film, but more or less paying homage and also trying to create its own unique spin on it. It's a really, really good film. One of the best horror movies I've actually seen, honestly, in more recent years, honestly. I think we've had some pretty good movies horror movies in the last couple of years, but this is one of those early ones that makes you think, like, maybe there is a future after all with these horror movies. So, I don't know. But that's what I thought back then. But overall, terrific movie. The Woman in Black. Highly recommend checking it out. So, with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our last movie that we have here, and that is Big Miracle.
About 3 whales
Fred, Wilma, and Bam Bam. Changed all of our lives.
Didn't they get free? This is solid ice.
They know they're in trouble and they're scared. They need help.
The temperature has dropped through the floor.
You can't go down there. It's too dangerous. Do you hear them?
Just because you're small
We will do everything we can.
They're moving.
doesn't mean you can't do big things.
Big Miracle. Rated PG.
And then the big twist is that it's actually a dream, and the whale's been dead for like months now. I mean, it's like that Simpsons episode where Lisa tries to save the whales, and she thinks she's finally done it, and everyone's celebrating, and then it turns out to be a dream, and the whale's been dead for like several hours now. It's just like it literally could have gone in that direction, honestly, but it does not do that. And essentially, this is Universal's answer to Warner Brothers' Dolphin's Tale, which is very funny because this was originally intended to be a Warner Brothers movie. It was pitched at Warner Brothers, and then they decided to pass on it and then went over to Universal. And essentially now it's Universal's answer to Dolphin Tale, which was the big success in the fall. This one was not as successful, but I think it's a much better movie than Dolphin Tale was. That's my personal take on it. But in small town Alaska, a news reporter played by John Krasinski recruits his Greenpeace volunteer ex-girlfriend played by Drew Barrymore on a campaign to save a family of gray whales trapped by rapidly forming ice in the Arctic Circle. And the reason why I like this more than I do something like Dolphin Tale works for what it's trying to accomplish. I mean, Dolphin Tale was a movie that is basically the crowd-pleasing family film where, you know, nothing really can go wrong, and even when it does, it's just like it's okay because the dolphin will survive at the end of it, even though it doesn't have his tail and all that. But it worked for what it was. This one, I think, took a lot more chances with it. I think it has a bunch better cast involved in it. I mean, John Krasinski's really good in here. You also have Drew Barrymore, Kristen Bell, Vanessa Shaw, Stephen Root, Ted Danson, Dermot Mulroney, Rob Riggle, Tim Blake Nelson, James LaGrosse, Andrew Daly, John Michael Higgins. And like I said, I think it's a much better story in terms of, you know, they took a real life event that happened, Operation Breakthrough, which was this 1988 international effort to rescue gray whales that were trapped in ice, and this was just before the Exxon Valdez oil spill, and it just works. It's a movie that works really, really well. You do get invested in all the characters. You want to see them succeed in their mission, and you like the fact that they try to do everything they can to accomplish the mission overall. Not everybody survives in this case here. Like, you know, there's one moment where one of the whales dies, and it really is something where, you know, not everything can work out in your favor overall, and it took chances. It takes a lot of chances and really keeps you on the edge of your seat, and I really like that. I really like that the movie didn't just give you a straight up happy ending for everybody involved. It just works. It works, I think, a whole lot better than something like Dolphin Tale does. Like I said, it wasn't the big box office hit overall. It actually was a flop when it came out, but I think it's definitely a much better movie than Dolphin Tale is. I think it's a much stronger film. I think it's a very enjoyable film. It's one definitely worth checking out. It's rated PG, of course, for language, which if Captain America's watching this, I would stay away from that one. And he knows that that's never going away anytime soon. If you don't know what that means, go back and watch Avengers Age of Ultron, the beginning of it, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And on that kind of a lame joke, we wrap up this episode of Time About the Movies. And the next time we meet, we'll take a look at the films that came out pre-Valentine's Day weekend. Pretty stacked weekend when you look at the numbers. We have Channing Tatum in another one of his big movie releases of the year, along with Rachel McAdams. Hey, it was with Amanda Seyfried 2 Februarys ago, so might as well put him with Regina George in The Vow, based off of a Nicholas... Is this based off a Nicholas Sparks book? I think it is, but don't quote me on that. I'll have more when we get to that tomorrow. But we also have Denzel Washington and Ryan Reynolds starring in Safe House, the movie that you would think would work, and yet surprisingly it doesn't. I'll explain more about that tomorrow. We have the sequel to Journey to the Center of the Earth with Journey to the Mysterious Island, which features Dwayne Johnson and not Brendan Fraser in this one. And then we have the 2012 3D re-release of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Why are they re-releasing it? I don't know. They're just doing it. So we'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at that and all the other movies coming up tomorrow on the show. So stay tuned for that. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy this, please do me the honor of going to the like button and hitting that. Hit the notification button. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe button, then the notification button. And then also don't forget to check out our playlist, and don't forget to check out the last episode we did. So with all that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.